Hello, Capricorn. Here is a reading for you. These are general. Take what works and what doesn't work just doesn't work. But let's see what's kind of in your energies currently. So first up, you have the Lovers. This is kind of what this reading is the basis on, or what this reading is regarding. So you have the Lovers, and in your current energies, you have the Nine of Wands. In your near future, you have the Emperor. Your challenge regarding the situation is the Six of Pentacles reversed, and what's recommended for you is the Four of Pentacles. So the Lovers indicates it could represent love or some type of really well pairing between you and another individual. It could be love. It could just be some type of, even a friendship or something that you guys really, really gel very well. I would say something that you might be best friends with, like regarding a best friend or a situation where you guys really had a certain level of chemistry, whether it is relationship or just a friendship type of chemistry or even work chemistry. But this could be somebody that you really had like a very, almost like a destined type of connection, or a very high level connection with, as far as personality wise, or even just hobbies or whatever. You guys just kind of get each other, or understand each other. But the Lovers can also represent choices, and these choices usually are important choices. When I get this, a lot of times I get this when it's like I'm making a choice for something in my life that's going to have long-term or long-lasting effects. So it's not going to be like, okay, like what do I want for dinner tonight? It's something that is actually, I really need to take a second look at the situation and really, really analyze before I actually dedicate or commit to something, because those choices, or that choice I'm going to make, there's going to be longer repercussions to, or there might be a better choice that I'm not seeing. So because this is, I don't see this so much as a love reading in a sense, because there's no kind of emotions here. So maybe for some of you, but you take this how it works. You always have to go with your gut and what makes sense to you regarding whatever. But for some of you, this could be even like some type of partnership or some type of choice that you've had to make where it was a bigger choice. It was a bigger kind of destiny type of thing, or putting you on a certain type of trajectory within your life. But your current energy right now regarding this is the Nine of Wands. And this is like you kind of have fought a battle. It's after the battle. You fought the battle. You're tired, damn it. You're standing there. You're still holding on. You're still staying strong. But I always see this as kind of a little bit of a worn out energy. You're still standing your ground. But almost, I also see this as like a reflective card a little bit. So there might be some type of reflection you might be doing right now regarding whatever this Lover's determined to you. Because even if this was a person or a friendship, maybe something happened within that where you had to make some certain type of choices, or there are certain situations, especially because the Nine of Wands is here. Maybe you had to fight for something, or this could even represent you guys got into an argument or something. But this is kind of like after the fact, where now you have a minute to really analyze the situation and really review. Did you have the right actions? What was the outcome? How do you feel about everything? But it's also a card of kind of being a little worn out. So even if this is just a situation where you had to make choices on something, whatever that might have been, you might be a little worn out. Like certain things, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of back and forth. You could have been buying a house and it's just a headache, so it's just like represents your energy right now is this like worn out after the battle. You might still be in somewhat of the battle, but I think the main aspects of the fight are a little bit finished, but you might still be involved to certain degrees of maybe some of the littler things. But what's coming in for you is the Emperor, and I see this as a very, very positive card. He is obviously very much in control. He is, what he says goes. It's this kind of energy of handling your business, but it's also an energy of always needing to remind yourself that you need to have a little bit of fun, especially because if whatever this represents with this Lover's card of having a bigger choice, or having like a friendship or something that was really, really, what do I want to say? Like something that was really I don't want to say attached to you, but if this was a person, if this represents a person, it's a person that you probably wouldn't want to lose the friendship or the person, like, or if you had to get rid of them or whatever, it's hard. So this is kind of one of those where it's something connected a little bit more deeply to you, or it's a bigger decision that's connected a little bit more deeply to you. So I feel like, though, that even though with the Nine of Wands here, you might be a little worn out, I think you're going to get your strength back going forward, and you're going to get back on the horse and kind of back in control of whatever situation this is regarding. But this is always reminding you a little bit, you should have a little fun if you can during these things, because this is a little bit of a stressful energy here right now. Now, your challenge, though, with the Six of Pentacles reverse, some of you might be experiencing, like, I don't want to say one-sided friendship or one-sided charity in a way, because this is now not balanced. It's not like, okay, it's like a give and take between two people or even a situation. It's almost like somebody's either taking everything that they can get from you or from a situation, and they're not willing to give to anything, to any situation or to anyone. So this being your challenge, I wonder if whatever this is, you might be feeling like something is still draining either your energy or financially. There's some kind of either responsibility or person or something kind of sucking you dry over here. So this is your challenge to either maybe even say like no, or just kind of take your power back with the Emperor and kind of see something maybe in more of a logical light. Because I think with the Lovers, anytime we're with these either partnerships or even situationships or whatever it is, and they kind of get us a little bit more in the feels, it kind of is something that we just feel is meant for us. Sometimes to stand our ground and to be firm on something is a little bit harder for us to do, although sometimes these situations, they kind of turn south. Maybe this person or the situation was within your life for a certain reason or for a certain season or time frame or whatever, and whatever's happening with it, you might need to be standing your ground. So I think you have to stand your ground, especially because the Emperor, even the Nine of Wands, he's standing his ground. But I think your challenge is to remain standing your ground if somebody's trying to take a little too much and not give back. Now, and the Four of Pentacles being here, this is recommended for you, is to hold on to your stuff. Like, hold on to your assets, hold on to whatever it is. Like, if you're over giving to a certain situation, be a little bit more mindful of how you're spending your money, or even allocating your resources at this time, because this could just be even your energy or your thoughts or whatever. You just have to kind of be a little bit more resourceful, but hold on to your stuff. Don't over give of yourself or fight any battles that are not really yours to fight, because some of you, that's what some of you might have done, is you kind of went out to bat for somebody and you were fighting somebody else's battle. And now you might be realizing that it might not have been the best decision to do that. And they're screwing you somehow. And now you got to just kind of regroup and kind of figure out going forward, like, how's the best way to handle this. But let's see what else we get for you guys. So first up, we have Turtle Spirit. Slow and steady wins the race. And I think that, especially with the Nine of Wands, to me, this is a little bit more of slower energy. It's a little bit more reflective. It's a little more like kind of worn out. And the Emperor, he's going to know that not everything happens super fast. He's been through lots of wars. He's been through lots of situations. And sometimes he knows that he needs to take time to strategize a little bit. And even with the Four of Pentacles being recommended, this is slow energy right here. This is like holding on kind of energy. This is like, we ain't leaving the house today. We are just going to sit here and we're holding on to everything. So no decisions being made. So, and because the Six of Pentacles right now is your challenge, and in the reverse, it's a little bit more giving a little too much of yourself, or just kind of I don't want to say hemorrhaging something, but just kind of like just a little bit too extra. There's too much. So I think right now with whatever this is, you might be needing to take almost like, I don't want to say a pause moment, but it might not be a bad idea to take a pause, especially because the Four of Pentacles is recommended for you. Now, Paradise, because sometimes when we take a pause, the situations actually either work themselves out or we learn something that we didn't realize or we didn't see before. So there might be some information that you're going to kind of gather up, or even this with this Emperor, because he's strategizing, right? He's an Emperor. He does all that kind of stuff. There might be something that you need to refigure out. You know, maybe even with the Nine of Wands, you got to refind out or rethink about or figure out what was good, what was bad, what the hell happened. Sometimes we even have to figure out what the hell happened. Sometimes we get into an argument or there's a problem and we don't even know really while it's happening, we don't realize like what is really going on here. Sometimes after it happens, you're like, what the hell? What happened here? So you might need a moment to kind of refigure out whatever this is, especially because whatever this problem is about or this situation's about, the Lovers being here, to me, it's a little bit more of a, I don't say a larger problem. I don't necessarily mean a larger problem, but maybe a situation that hits a little closer to home or a little bit more in your feels or your heart or something like that, you know? Now with Paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And I really feel like that's going with the Emperor. You might need to have a little bit of a happiness, or because the Emperor, he's expanding as well. So within this time of kind of expansion or strategizing or figuring out what the hell you're doing, getting your power back, you might have to like have a little fun within that, because this is a lot of like stressful energy right here. So having a little fun or reminding yourself to have a little fun during this is not a bad thing at all. Now, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And then you have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So now for some of you, if this was the Lovers, let's say this was like a partnership, friendship, whatever, like a person, and if whatever happened, maybe things are not going quite well, maybe you were realizing that they kind of take from you and they don't really give back, and you're feeling a little upset, you're kind of having to stand your ground and kind of hold on to whatever hold on, keep things to yourself almost in a way with the Four of Pentacles. I think you having an open mind is extremely important, because to me, sometimes the Emperor could potentially be a little set in his ways, because I don't think he's not willing to listen, but I kind of feel like when he might be a little stressed out during a situation, he might want to have like, I'm not saying an easy fix or a quick fix, because I don't think that, but I think he would rely heavily on things that have worked for him in the past, like the tried and true aspects of stuff or the way to handle something, where sometimes when you keep an open mind, there is more risk in that, but sometimes you actually get better results. So that might be something that you have to kind of take into consideration, that maybe however this situation transpires, it might be a little different than the way you wanted it to or you thought it should, but it doesn't mean it won't be good. And worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. I feel like this is saying, because this is stressful energy right here. Sorry about the dog. I think this is saying that some of this might be divine timing. And with the Four of Pentacles being kind of a weight, he's barking at the cat. Jessie, honey, leave her alone, sweetheart. It's playtime for him, and she'll be like right here, and he's right here, and he feels like he has to bark at her, and it's like at the top of his lungs, and it's like he can hear you. She can hear you, Jessie. Like she absolutely can hear you, but he doesn't understand volume control. She's very good with him. She's very patient. She's a very, very good big little sister, I should say. Anyway, so the Four of Pentacles could be this waiting phase for you. Like something is good coming in, but you just have to wait it out. So that might be why that's there as well. Now you have this, what is this word? Chrysalthicum something. It's a word here that I don't know if I can pronounce. I'm not trying today. It says start fresh. And that start fresh might be going with this keep an open mind and slow and steady wins the race. If there's something that you might have to take a step back and redo or restart, you might have to do that. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the way it goes. And even sometimes like in your mind, you have to mentally start fresh. So you could be doing the same stuff, but in your mind, you might have to have like almost like a mental reset to kind of help get you back on track. Now you have take charge. Don't wait for the stars to align. Reach up and arrange them the way you want. And that's definitely going with this Emperor energy, because this guy is definitely aligning his stuff the way he wants them aligned. Like, these stars are going to know what's up. They're going to know where to go, how they should be, and that's it. And he's very confident. So I think because the Emperor is coming in for you, you're definitely going to have to kind of take control of the situation, maybe lick your wounds a little bit with the Nine of Wands if you kind of having this moment. But and take charge is definitely that you have to, if you're over giving to a situation, you know it's not good for you, you got to pull back, and you're going to be like, no, I'm done here. I'm done, and I'm holding on to my stuff. We're going to just wait it out for a minute. I'm going to see, because this could be somebody that has a problem as well. And it could be a type of person that always seems to have a problem, and you might be the go-to person that always seems to fix their problem or try to help them through their damn problem, and they never seem to really take the lead in their own life. You might have to kind of, if this resonates for some of you, you might have to kind of pull back from that situation a little bit, recognize that these people, you're always helping them, but they're never trying to help themselves, and you might have to kind of let them try to figure it out to a certain degree. You might have to try to like encourage them to start taking an active role in their own lives, you know? And then you have crown chakra, divinity. Recognize the divine in the mirror. And this is just saying that, like, you are divine. You have to take belief in yourself as well, you know? So if you're kind of losing a little faith in yourself, or you're feeling a little shaken, you need to just kind of just remind yourself that you're here, and that's incredible that you're here, and you have something to offer the world. We all do. And that's a beautiful thing. It's really, really beautiful when you think about all the different types of people here, all the different types of, you know, ideas, or, you know, minds and everything, or just capabilities and everything. It's incredible. It's incredible that we're all here. So you have to recognize your own divine fabulousness. And then for Bob Ross, you have anytime you learn, you gain. And you might be learning something from this situation. Sometimes, especially with this Nine of Wands, anytime we fight the fight, we learn something, whether or not we want to learn it. A lot of times we only learn the hard way as well. But you might be learning something. And even if this is something about, if this represents a person or something really near and dear to your heart, a situation, if you learn something, you know, you are better capable of making either better decisions next time, or figuring out a better way forward regarding whatever this is. Now, we have find your peace, and then everything will fall into place. And then you also have what screws us up most in life is the picture in our heads of how it's supposed to be. And I think that's a lot of times we fall into, I know I fall into, I'll have an idea, something, I'll be like, this is the way it's going to be. And it's never that way. And you get hung up on that. So I don't think if whatever this Lovers represents for you, whatever the situation is, maybe you had kind of, you felt like, okay, me and this person are going to be in the nursing home together, whether it's a relationship, friendship, whatever, you know, long-term stuff, or me in this whatever investment, or whatever this represents for you. And I think sometimes when we put these ideas and stipulations on something, we get stuck in that, because in our mind we have, okay, this is going to happen at the end, but now we're dealing with all these problems now, but it's worth dealing with, because at the end in your brain you're like, we're going to wind up here, whereas that's not actually where you're going to really wind up. So sometimes you have to kind of let go of the ideas that you have regarding a person or situation, and see how it happens, but stay flexible with it. So, you know, because I think sometimes we hang on to something much longer than we should, just because we have this idea of the way it will be one day, and that day is just never going to come. And then find your peace, and then everything will fall into place. And I think this is just you finding your balance again, because this is out of balance. This energy, the Six of Pentacles reversed, this is out of balance. So you need to just gain your peace, however that is, and I think things are going to fall into place, because you have divine timing here, and then you have the whole that you are divine. So I think you just, and also take charge. So this is all like kind of, and start fresh, and even slow and steady wins the race. Like, this is all kind of like cards of, in a way, finding your peace, even if it's just feeling that you're on the right track, or you made the right decisions, or even if you didn't make the right decisions, that you learned something from that and you are a little bit more knowledgeable than you once were. Now, for your little affirmation card, you have today I feel good. Today I know deep down that I look good, feel good, and I am a good person. And that's really, really wonderful. Now, you also have unplug. I'm in an offline state of mind. And for some of you, you might need to unplug a little bit because this is kind of heavy energy a little bit. This is a lot of not a lot of fun here, and maybe if somebody's draining you a little bit or you're feeling drained, you just need to find that peace again and take a step back. Then for your little stress relief and self-care card, you have mindful walking, objective, putting your cares aside and focusing on the moment. Find some time to take a mindful walk, ideally somewhere with some green space. As you walk, don't think about anything else. Focus on your environment. Touch the foliage, smell the flowers or plants, and notice the sounds of your feet hitting the pavement. Tune out all distractions like your cell phone or having a conversation with somebody and reconnect with your natural surroundings and notice how good this practice makes you feel. Now, you don't necessarily need to walk somewhere green or whatever. It could be sand, it could be whatever. If you live in a city, you could just look at the buildings or just notice, like, maybe even, I don't want to say the decay. It's so dramatic, but like, how sometimes the buildings, the blocks or whatever, maybe they look a little different. So you don't necessarily have to be touching foliage. You could just be noticing certain things around you that just notice your surroundings and just kind of like with the beauty within that, I guess, no matter what your surroundings might be. So, okay. Now for your spirit of the dish that shall be with you during this time, you have the spirit of the dog, which is the spirit of the hot dog. Okay, and your dinner and a movie, you have drama, films, and seafood. And then for the energies that you either need to tap into or be aware of, you have Taurus. And Taurus is about love, money, and powers of attraction. And they're also like a very, I don't want to say stubborn sign, but I see like you're not moving that bull if he does not want to move. So you might have to be a little stubborn and kind of, I don't want to say set in your ways, but you might need to be a little bit with whatever this is, whatever's kind of sucking some of your time or your energy or your resources. You might have to be a little bit like, listen, I can't do this anymore, and I'm still here for you. I'm not moving, but I'm also not overgiving either. And you also have Leo, and Leo is about ego, individuality, and confidence. And you have the north and south node. So the north node here is like your destiny, and the south node is about things that you need to release. So that is very interesting because with the lovers a little bit about that destiny or those destined choices in a way, or destined people. But I wonder if maybe for some of you, whatever this lovers represents, it could have been destined that person or situation was in your life, but it could also be now destined that you release that. Maybe there was unfortunately some lessons to be learned, or the time has passed, the time is moving. But you'll know for yourself. You'll know what's right for you. Now you have 2 10th houses, which is about social status, career, and aspirations. And then you have the number 3 here, which is an odd number. So that means a special guest, they'll be answering your questions. Today, Capricorn, will be actually, you'll be the Magic 8 Ball. Sorry, Mr. Predicto is evens, Magic 8 Ball is odds. He'll be out here shortly, so think of those questions. And you have the fish. Now, the skeletal remains of a fish. This guy had a bad day. The buzzards came, the seagulls, whatever else, and they picked him clean. But this is always reminding you that you have a foundation. Even though you were stripped away, everything was stripped from you, the flesh was ripped off your body, you still have your foundation. And I like to think positive. I like to think that this guy's going to resurrect himself, and he's going to have like armor, and he's going to have a tank, and he's going to have an army. So when he comes back, he's going to come back like the emperor. He knows what happened, what went wrong the first time. He's going to be prepared for those birds the next time. Like, he is going to have a whole like fish army with like, I don't even know. He's going to enlist like crabs and stuff. Like, it's going to be crazy. He's going to be the king of the sea because he's coming back a lot stronger. He's going to have some kind of weird missiles and everything. He's not messing around next time. But this is about saying that, sometimes you get kind of reduced to the foundations and you need to build again. And for your numbers and letters, so you have O, Y, S, and you have 1, 4, 7, 4, 6, 8. And you have desire, and I think this is just saying that, you know, look at what the things that you desire and just go after what you desire. Okay, now it's time. Here he is. Okay, think of those questions, Capricorns. It is time to ask. Oh, mystical, magical 8-ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the world. What is the answer to Capricorn's question? It says, outlook good. There you go. The 8-ball has spoken. I hope you all have a wonderful day, week, month, year, lifetime, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.